Hello, my little starlings. How are you? Last month, we hit 2,000 subscribers, which is a crazy amount of people when you really think about it. I grew up in a small town, and the number of starlings we have here today is more than the number of kids in my entire high school. That's crazy. I'm so grateful to have connected with every single one of you. And I'm honored that I can be here for you all when you need a comfort character or you just want to get to sleep. Each one of you is a special little star in my heart, so thank you for being here. Now that we have so many friends here today, I figured it was time to get to know one another better. So I made a community post asking for your questions, and tonight I will answer them along with all of the 25 questions in the ASMR tag. It's going to be a long video. Right off the bat, I did get a few questions that were asking me if I'll do specific characters or if I can please do this kind of video, so just to cover all of those at once, every month I put up character polls for my channel members, the former mercs, and they vote in those. So right now I'm doing Genshin Impact polls and a Fire Emblem poll, and I alternate each ASMR week. So for example, if the next month has 2 ASMR scheduled, I'll post one of each different kind of poll, and then I choose what characters to put in that poll. It gives me an option of like 4, and then all of my former mercs, which we have 3 right now, I think, get to vote on those characters. So I pull the options that I put into the poll from the suggestions under the pinned comment of my most recent videos. So if there's a character you want, that's where you can put in the suggestion, but I don't take requests, if that makes sense. I don't hear somebody say, oh, please make a Ganyu video, and then I say, oh, okay, sure thing, Bob, I will make you a Ganyu video. That's not how it works. I put Ganyu into the poll, and then my former mercs get to vote, and if they pick Ganyu, then we'll do Ganyu. So that's kind of how it works. If you're ever wondering, how do I get my Ganyu video, suggest her, and if enough people are suggesting her, I will make sure she goes in polls. That's how it works. Also, if you're asking for characters who aren't Genshin Impact or aren't Fire Emblem, it's just not what I'm doing right now, so unfortunately I'm not going to pick them. I had questions for a lot of different like animes and things, and it's not what I'm doing right now, so it's not what's gonna come through. I'm sorry. I am sure that you can find another creator who's doing My Hero Academia or Spy X Family or whatever it is you're looking for, but what's on the channel right now is what's staying on the channel. Hopefully that covers everything for people who are asking for specific ASMRs. So now, on to the other questions. First up, from Gwenwood857 Gyasutaku. Who is a YouTuber you like watching? To be honest, I watch a lot of YouTube. I'm especially watching a lot of like arts and crafts type content and bullet journaling content, but I also watch a lot of VTubers here. So in terms of streamers, I watch a lot of Vox Akuma and Fulgur Ovid. Those are my like comfort streamers. But if we're not talking about streamers, I'd say one of the people I watch the most is Rachel Maxey. I love seeing all of her cosplays and her craft projects. There's something so fun and cozy to me about just the chaotic process of making things. I guess because it's one of my favorite hobbies too. I love anything creative, and I feel like Rachel Maxey really embodies the same I could make that energy. Plus her videos are just a lot of fun. Next question from our former Merc channel member Yoshi Egg 9595. Is there anything you'd like to do, but can't because of technical or other limitations? That's a really good question. Probably hand cam content. Whether it would be streams or ASMR, I would love to be able to film myself sewing or knitting, or even doing something that's not like making something like a tarot pick a card reading for you guys. That could be so fun. But right now, I just don't have a good camera setup for it. The only quality camera I have is my phone, and ASMR videos are so long, and my phone just turns into a brick as soon as I try to upload the footage of any of those to my computer or my Google Drive. There are also like a lot of PC games I would love to play on stream, but my computer is not strong enough to run my model and a game at the same time. It's the same reason I don't think I could do a collab stream with the tech I have right now. I don't have the power. But all of those are things that I think would be a lot of fun in the future. Alright, next we have 2 questions from William Angelo 6732. First, what was your first ASMR experience? I love this question. I've always been the type of person to fall asleep to music. I don't know if that counts as ASMR. There was a time when I would listen to Welcome to Night Vale and try to lull myself to sleep with that. But the first time I experienced that like satisfying, soothing ASMR feeling was watching Toy Story 2. Everybody who's seen it knows what I'm talking about. There's this scene where Woody is getting like patched up because he's a kid's toy, so he's got all of this like rough damage, but he is taken by a collector who wants to like fix him up, right? And so they animated this scene of him getting like his arm sewn back together and his boot painted over and stuff, and they worked so hard on all of the little intricate details, and I have just been obsessed with that scene ever since I was a tiny little kid. I think it's the same reason I really love the Coraline opening, though I'm pretty sure a lot of people think that scene is way creepier than the Woody scene. William also asks, what's your favorite show? I am the type of person who changes their favorites depending on whatever they've watched the most recently. So right now, I'm playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3, so there's a part of me that wants to say, oh, The Witcher is my favorite show. I really love cartoons though, and I really enjoyed The Owl House, although I haven't finished it yet. That's my toxic trait. I never finish shows I like. I didn't finish The Witcher either. Unironically though, Bluey is one of my all-time favorite shows. I think everyone should watch Bluey. There is nothing more comforting in this world than Bluey. Next question is from Conquest and Fate. Out of the 2 franchises you do ASMR the most of, Fire Emblem and Genshin Impact, which one is your favorite to do ASMR for? And who are your favorite characters from said series? That's a hard call. Ooh, it's a really juicy question. I like them both for very different reasons. All of the supports in Fire Emblem make it really easy to get a grasp on who a character is, although I do feel like Three Houses does that better than some of the other games. So writing Fire Emblem scripts, I feel like, can be easier sometimes, but I think the character designs in Genshin are so strong, and the way the friendship system works with all the backstories gives Genshin characters a lot of heart. Plus, we have a clearer idea of how the lore works for their world. It's a lot more, like, expansive, and there's a lot more details in the game for us. There's a lot more room to create something new within Genshin's world than there is in Fire Emblem, I think. So right now, I think I would say I actually like making Genshin ASMR more. But Three Houses is still one of my all-time favorite games, and I adore those characters with all my heart. Plus, Three Houses videos are how I really started my channel, to be honest, so they're always going to be special to me. As for my favorite characters, first of all, anyone who's watched my streams knows I'm just obsessed with Sylvain from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like, it's a problem. And my first ever Fire Emblem favorite was Niles from Fire Emblem Conquest. I literally started the game as male Corrin because I'd seen the female character designs and I thought I would want to marry a girl character. And then I met Niles, who is like the only character in that game you can romance regardless of gender, I think. And I ended up marrying him in the end. And I missed out on his child unit since I picked male Corrin. But if we want to go off of characters I've done ASMR for, I think Ingrid is my favorite Fire Emblem character. I love how loyal and dedicated she is, and the way her stubbornness is in constant contradiction with how unsure she is about leaving her father's path and stepping away from her duty as a crested heir to follow her own dreams. There's a lot of really interesting depth hiding under her surface, and it really comes out when you put her next to her best friends like Felix and Sylvain. They really bring out so many differences in each other. For Genshin Impact, my favorite character is probably Venti. I also really like Albedo, but Venti is hands down my favorite Archon, and the video I did for him is one of my all-time favorites. Out of all the Archons we've seen so far, Venti is the one with the most connection to and understanding of human beings, which is only possible because he steps away from what all the other gods think an Archon should be, and he lets his people run themselves. He's absolutely right that the very nature of being the god of freedom means he cannot rule over them. And we know he learned that by watching the king before him ruin his people. Venti is a character who's already finished his growth arc, basically, and it makes him so interesting to dissect. I'm also just a sucker for mischievous archers, apparently. And I always love a troublemaking little bard. A few more questions from Chris King. What made you choose Genshin and Fire Emblem as the series to do ASMR with? And what characters do you still want to cover or do more with? I actually started this channel doing original character ASMRs, and I still want to do original characters. I'm working on some stuff behind the scenes to get there, hopefully next year. It's a lot of work, actually. But I'm a big fan of Daisy Benezi ASMR, and I especially loved her Fire Emblem roleplays. So I always knew I wanted to do roleplays like that with existing characters from games I loved. And then I started to realize that even though Three Houses had been out for months, there wasn't very much ASMR for the game. It seemed really crazy to me because you have characters like Mercedes and Marianne who have these really gentle ASMR voices. So I decided if no one else is going to make those videos, I will. I had a lot of fun with it. And then life got really busy for me and I had to stop making content for a while. I don't quite remember how long it was. I think it was like maybe a year. And then when I came back to launch Ophelia and kind of like revive my channel, I'd fallen really in love with Genshin Impact by that point. I loved the characters in the world, like I said, and I knew people were making and watching lots of ASMR for them. And it looked like so much fun, so I just had to join in. As far as characters I want to cover or do more with, I think the only female characters left from Three Houses are Happy, Catherine, and Leonie. So just to complete the set, I kind of want to do a video for each of them. But I would love to do more videos with Venti. Like I said earlier, his video is one of my favorites I've ever done, and as hard as his voice was to perform, it's so cool for me to hear my own voice change like that. I'm just really proud of that one, I think. I also I don't want to like beat the Beto videos with until it's like a dead horse, right? But I do really enjoy Beto videos. Last questions, and hopefully I don't say your name wrong. It's spelled Qidli. I'm gonna guess it's Cheedly, but I'm sorry if I get that wrong. They ask, Will you ever play Tears of the Kingdom? Also, what's your favorite cereal? Like I said, my toxic trait is I never finish things I like. It's so bad. It's a miracle that I finished 3 houses. So I've actually never beaten Breath of the Wild, even though I had a lot of fun playing it. I haven't really gotten past the first Divine Beast, and now that I've spent so many years away from it, it's really hard to get back into, especially the controls. Breath of the Wild has a really weird controller map, in my opinion. So all of my, like, usual gaming instincts end up just biting me in the butt, actually, when I try to play. So I don't know that I'm ever gonna beat it. I feel like I will just suffer and die all the time. Because of that, I probably won't end up buying or playing Tears of the Kingdom. But a lot of my friends are really into Zelda, so if they're playing it, I'll probably watch them play it. So I won't share the content, but I might follow the story, if that makes sense. As for my favorite cereal, I am so sorry to say I am that boring plain Cheerio person. I do love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it's so much sugar. And usually if I decide I'm going to have cereal, it's because I want something simple and just crunchy. I ate so much plain Cheerios when I was sick with COVID recently. That's kind of when I eat Cheerios. I don't regularly eat cereal. By the way, I am not a milk before cereal person, but I'm not a cereal before milk person either. I eat my cereal dry, and you can't change my mind. Okay, that's all of your Q&A questions. So now it's time for the ASMR tag. I'll link GB ASMR's original video in the description box below, along with all of the timestamps. There are 25 questions in this tag altogether, so I have a feeling a lot of you are gonna fall asleep before you hear all the answers. So if you're coming back, just check the description. A couple of these are repeats of you guys' questions, so I'll blow through those pretty quickly. Like the first tag question, when was the first time you experienced ASMR? Like I said, Toy Story 2. Question 2, when was the first time you watched ASMR on YouTube? I think it was like 2017, maybe? A friend of mine had told me what ASMR was a few years before that, but I hadn't really looked into it. And then one night I just could not fall asleep. None of my sleepy music was working, nothing I normally did would help. So I texted her, like, what was that sleep thing you were telling me about? And she sent me a few links, I think. I don't actually remember which ones she sent me. So the first ASMR video I actually remember is one of GB ASMR's really early Raven cosplay videos, and I was just hooked from there. Question 3. What's your favorite unintentional ASMR video? I don't, actively watch unintentional ASMR. I don't just seek it out. I kind of just encounter it in the wild now and then. And so, of course, I always think Toy Story 2. But setting that aside, I also really like Bob Ross painting videos, which I know is, the most basic answer everybody probably gives, but... Question 4. Name the last 5 ASMRtists that you watched. In no particular order. Amy K ASMR, GB ASMR, Gentle GF ASMR, Daisy Benazi ASMR, and Vox Akuma, who is a variety streamer, but he does a lot of ASMR, and I love his ASMRs. Question 5. What is your favorite ASMR trigger to listen to? I love any kind of, cyborg ASMR triggers, where it's personal attention and they're fixing you because you're having some kind of malfunction. I love the little metal triggers in those videos or the wrench twists, or somebody clicks together a pair of tweezers to pluck something. That soft metal tapping is my favorite sound. Question 6. What is your least favorite trigger to listen to and do it? I cannot stand eating sounds. I always forget what it's called, but like that brain setting where you get irrationally angry when you hear people eat, it drives me insane. I have to like plug my ears at the dinner table sometimes if we're not watching TV or something. It's so bad. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to record it because I have to edit this later. Question 7. Do you use ASMR to relax or fall asleep? Mostly to sleep. Occasionally, if I'm having an anxiety attack and I'm alone, I'll search for ASMR to calm down. But normally I put on ASMR because I can't fall asleep by myself. Question 8. What is your bedtime routine? It's super simple. Usually about half an hour before I go to bed, I have a snack, which is like one of the things everyone tells you not to do. Don't eat right before bed. But I don't know, it's just kind of a habit now. I have my snack, and then I go and I brush my teeth and do all my bathroom stuff, get changed, and then snuggle into bed to go to sleep. If I need it, that's when I'll put on ASMR. And that's it. Question 9. What is your favorite trigger to do? Do it. I actually don't do this very much. It usually gets hidden behind my tea pouring, but I love tapping on like teacups. Anything that makes this kind of sound. And of course, we also have kind of a joke around here that it's not an Ophelia video if there isn't a cup of tea being poured. Question 10. What is your least favorite trigger to do? Do this too. I don't really do triggers I'm not interested in, but out of the ones I have done, I think whispering is my least favorite. I feel like it's a lot harder for me to emote or do character voices if I'm whispering. I also don't have a super robust mic, so editing whispered ASMR is harder for me. Question 11. How long does it take you to make a video? It depends, which I'm sure everyone says. If I'm doing a character roleplay, if I'm not really familiar with their personality, or I don't already know what I'm going to do for the video, I have to do a lot of research first, which takes up more time. I'd say, on average, I spend about 8 or 9 hours on each video, from scripting to recording, editing, making thumbnails, and all that stuff. Research can add another 2 or 3 hours, depending. Question 12. Have you ever gotten tingles from your own videos? It's actually super rare for me to get tingles, so even though I use my videos for sleep all the time, I don't think I've ever gotten tingles from them. Question 13. Do you watch your own videos? Like I said, all the time. The ones I keep going back to are the Ingrid like horse brushing video, the Venti video, and the healing Beto video. I think the ones where I was really proud of the atmosphere are the ones I like to replay the most too. I always say this, but like I make ASMR videos for me. I like the style that I have, and that's the style of video I like to fall asleep to. So, of course I listen to them, they're for me. You guys are just allowed to listen too. Question 14. What software do you use to edit? I think it's called DaVinci Resolve. It's free and it can do a lot of things. Way more than I even have the experience to implement, to be honest. Question 15. What time of day do you film? Lately, I have been so busy that my videos end up being a same day make. So I'll script in the morning and then record right around lunchtime the same day the video is supposed to go up. It's not a great system, to be honest, but it's what I'm working with right now. This video is being recorded at 11:32 a.m. the Friday before it's supposed to go up, because I just so happened to have a little bit of time this week, and because I knew it was going to be a monstrously large video. Question 16. What is your favorite video that you've made? I think I'm going to go with the Venti video. Maybe I'm just biased because I love him. Question 17. Have one of your videos had an unexpected negative fan reaction? It's not like a dramatic amount, but I was not expecting how much debate and argument the Rhea video would have in the comments. I knew people had mixed feelings about her, but there are people who clicked on that video just to leave a comment saying they have no idea how anyone could find Rhea comforting. And like, I don't care. You can have your opinion. I have mixed feelings about Rhea myself, but I don't really know what the point of leaving a comment like that on an ASMR video is. Like, what's the goal in saying that? It's not gonna make me take it down, and it's not gonna make the people who want to listen to it stop. I don't know, I don't get it. Question 18. What videos of yours do you think didn't get the love they deserved? I'll be honest, I'm surprised the Ayaka video didn't get more views. Don't get me wrong, it got a lot of views compared to some of my Fire Emblem videos, and I'm still proud of my work on it. But with how much everyone loved Ayaka when she was added to the game, I was expecting a lot more people to watch that one. It just goes to show you, even solid video ideas don't guarantee views, I guess. Question 19. What's something the audience doesn't know about the behind the scenes of your channel? Well, right now, I am sitting in a closet. I am sitting in a storage closet. I have Christmas decorations to my left because this was the best acoustic setup I could figure out in this new house. Also, there are a lot of videos I privated when I relaunched the channel, when I brought Ophelia in. So I think most people watching now won't have seen or won't remember the bulk of my original character content. I can't remember if I've talked about it before, but I've been working for a while on a big original character project I want to launch next year, and its origins actually come from some of those privated videos. I guess you'll all just have to stay tuned to see what I've come up with. Question 20. What's the most absurd request you received from a fan? I get some odd suggestions on my Genshin Impact ASMR videos. I've had people suggest I make a roleplay for Ito or Eishda. Like, you can clearly hear the kind of voice I have, right? It's a little deeper right now because I'm getting over a cold, but like, how am I supposed to play a deeply masculine character with my super girly voice? Venti is about as masculine as it gets, dude. Question 21. Do your family and friends know you make ASMR videos? My family knows, but they don't really know much about ASMR, so I think all they really get is that I make acting videos. Some of my friends know and listen to my content, but I don't think I've told all of them. I'm also one of the only people among my friends who plays Genshin or Fire Emblem, so most of them probably wouldn't get it anyway. To be honest, I think more of them would be surprised to know that I'm a VTuber. Question 22. Have you ever been recognized in public? Nope. and I hope I never will be. Kind of ruins the whole VTubing for privacy thing, doesn't it? Question 23. What inspires your video ideas? I usually start with the characters and work out from there. I'll go through their backstories and their support lines, look at the role they play in the game's plot, and see who they're friends with. I take notes on all the information we have about them, and then I think about what kinds of things they would tell you as you guys started to get closer. Most of my videos involve that character opening up and talking about themselves, inviting the listener in to bond and be closer to them, so that's where I focus. And if I don't feel like I can make a long enough script out of those details, I'll look at what kinds of triggers match their personality or their hobbies, like Annette's cooking sounds. Sometimes I look at a character and I already have ideas for triggers that suit them, like Layla's chains and the hypnosis, but either way, I always prioritize the character and build up from that. Question 24. Where do you find yourself spending the most time online? Other than YouTube, it's AO3. I read so much fanfiction, dude. I'm really bad at keeping up with social media, but all my time online is spent consuming fan content of the games I like. Is it any surprise I make so many character videos? Question 25. What advice would you give someone who wanted to make their own ASMR content? Go for it. Buy a cheap USB mic and then learn how to edit your sound instead of trying to start out with the crispest mic on the market. I'm still using the same mic I started my channel with, which is the Blue Snowball Ice. It cost me like $60 a few years ago, and I think it's even cheaper now actually, and it works for everything I do. You do have to edit the sound after recording to get a better audio quality if you want to do ASMR. Obviously I can't edit my stream sound, but like my videos I edit the sound. But honestly, you'll get way farther in content creation by teaching yourself skills for free than you will ever get by just throwing money at the problem. A 3DO mic might be perfect for ASMR sound, but it's useless if you don't know how to edit your own videos, you know? The most important thing, I think, is also to have boundaries around your creation process and to create things that you love. Don't let anyone, whether it's your audience or other creators, talk you into making content you don't like or out of content that you enjoy. It's your channel. If they want something specific, they can make it themselves. Lastly, stop waiting for someone else to give you permission. If you find yourself asking creators all the time, what does it take to be a creator? Or do you think anyone can be a creator? You're asking the wrong questions. Those questions come out of a place of fear because you don't feel ready to start. But no one feels ready to start. You can only get ready by doing it, making mistakes and learning how to fix them for next time. You don't need someone else to tell you you're allowed to be a creator. Just go create. And that's the whole tag. Thank you so much for watching, Starlings, and thank you for 2,000 subscribers. I can't wait to see where we go from here. But for now, good night, everyone. Sleep tight.